Welcome back to Studio F1 Fast Times We Be. We're reviewing Opus. Gentlemen, let's broaden our minds.
Russell!
Welcome back to Fast Times We Be. I'm Willy B. I've got Rosie back with me. Rosie, how are we doing today?
Good. Glad to be back.
So today we'll be reviewing A24's latest film, Opus, and my first time taking advantage of the free ticket through the A24, the triple A24 membership.
All right.
So thank you A24 for the free ticket. I think that's just a cool little treat you get for being a member. So enjoyed using that. We did have to go to Regal to check this one out.
I loved Regal.
Rosie's first time, she did get the Cheetos popcorn, so she had a good time.
Flamin' Hot Cheetos.
Flamin' Hot
It's
Cheetos
like
popcorn.
two snacks in one.
Yeah.
That's so cool, and I think we should go there more.
But Opus is the movie we are talking about, directed by Mark Anthony Green. Cast-wise, we had some names that are very recognizable. Io Adebari, she has been in Bottoms that we saw a few years ago.
Oh, yes.
She voice acted in the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. So
Okay.
she's also in The Bear for TV show fans out there.
Yes.
So definitely making her presence felt on the screen. And then we had John Malkovich, who played our main antagonist, and then Juliette Lewis, and always nice seeing her, obviously big in the 80s and 90s, especially the 90s. She plays here someone else that's invited to this island, but we'll start with the good. And the first thing I would put in the good is this movie is really well shot.
Yes. I agree.
It's going to get more from me in this good category from the technical side of things than it is from the substance of the film.
Yes, I agree 100%.
The cinematography and the setting and just like this deserted like compound that they have, it looks beautiful. We get some cool shots, especially like her morning jog. We got a lot of great shots in the jog. There's the building where they're opening the oysters. When we get like outside shots of that, and it's just the small building with like the area around it. Just great shots, very good camera work. And yeah, I enjoyed the look of this film quite a bit. I did think it was shot very well. I also thought the acting was good. I didn't think they had a lot to work with, and we'll get into that. But I think with what they were given, Io Debris did a great job. But once again, I thought John Malkovich played a really good weirdo.
Yeah, there's a lot of. I mean, most of the cast in here, they all have something different to bring to the table. Whether it be, the people that were invited to the island, they have something completely different to bring to the table rather than like the people like the concierge or the people that already live in the compound. Like everyone has like such a different role, and I think they did all mesh well together, giving like, because it's kind of eerie in some points, so like sometimes it's kind of tricky to get that kind of like portray that feeling. So I think everyone did a really good job acting. I don't have any gripes about the acting, so.
I enjoyed seeing Amber Midthunder again. She, so obviously I just reviewed Novocaine. She was in that as the love interest, and then she was in Prey. She was the main protagonist in Prey, and I loved Prey. Right up there with the original for me as far as best Predators go. And in this one, she's definitely in a minor supportive role. She's one of the concierges. She is Io Debris or Ariel's concierge.
Okay.
But it was cool seeing her in a role that doesn't really talk.
No, she doesn't say a single word, I don't think.
Just like hunter. It felt very Prey-like with no speaking lines.
Yes.
I did also find out that Angelique Midthunder is her mother, who is the casting director on this film.
Okay.
I didn't realize that her mom was a casting director, so that was cool to find out. I saw the credits roll and I was like, well, what are the odds there's two Midthunders and they have nothing to do with each other? And so I looked it up, and it's mother-daughter. But yeah, I liked seeing her in that concierge role, and then I liked the rest of our cast too. Now, not as less recognizable faces in this film, but I think everybody did their part as far as acting goes. I just think that the substance could have been more.
Of course.
But definitely acting and cinematography both in the good. Camera work. Um, and it has a concept. So this movie is kind of getting griped with. A lot of people are kind of knocking this movie, and I didn't love it either because the reason it's getting its critiques is it feels a lot like the Midsummers, the Get Outs, the
Mhm.
Don't Worry Darlings. Blink Twice was a recent one that it
Oh
felt a
yeah.
lot like, where it's the same type of horror movie.
You get
Um,
invited to this island,
yeah,
something, it's all sunshine and rainbows for a couple of days,
yeah.
and then things start getting fishy, and
So
that one person
yeah,
sniffs it out, and then it's just turmoil after that, for
so
sure.
I enjoy the concept of that. It's always fun seeing those types of movies,
Hmm.
but this one, um, I mean, I'll talk about it, I guess, in the man and the bad, but this one, that's what I'll say. I like the concept of it. I think there was potential there.
Yeah.
Um, but we'll get into it. So definitely the concept and the good. I don't know what else I have in the good. I did okay. I did vibe with the music and the score. Um,
Okay.
I I I, I kind of got down with the
Like the
music,
music that he
like the
made.
Moretti music.
Yeah.
Yeah. So obviously this movie, Moretti is a guy that's been retired from 30 years. He's a rock star, pop star type of guy, and he gets a new album and he invites, five, six, media personalities basically to come out to his compound and hear the album before it's public,
Hmm.
and things go sinister, just like most horror movies do. Um, the few songs we get to hear from already, I was kind of
Yeah.
digging. So
Yeah.
I'll put the music and the score. It takes a little extra, to make your own original songs for a movie. So
Yeah.
got to give them that,
For
right?
sure.
And I thought they were fun pop songs. One was very, very sexual, but it was still like it it was groovy.
Yeah.
Like it made you shake your leg a little.
Uh-huh.
So I'm definitely gonna put that in the good as well. But that might be it for me in the good.
Yeah, I don't think I have anything else to add. Most of my stuff is in the mad or the
Okay.
bad, unfortunately, with this movie. So.
So we'll head to the meh then. Here is where I would put the pacing.
Okay.
I think the first act is really slow. Then I think once we get to the compound, it starts to pick up and it gets a little interesting. And the third act is really fast. So I think
Yeah.
the pacing was all over the place. I didn't think it had a good feel to it through the entire 93, or no, this one was a little longer, but still around the 90-minute mark, and it felt all over the place. There was moments where it was dragging. There was moments where I'm like, okay, slow down. This is where the good stuff could be.
Mhm.
Um, and then I'm probably gonna put the story here because I didn't hate the story. Like I said, it had a lot of potential. It was a cool concept, but it just didn't do anything to set itself apart from the other cult horror movies.
Yeah. Unfortunately, I mean, um, again, was going into this one blind, so I had no idea what,
Mm-hmm.
um, and given like the little like 2 or 3 sentence snippet on, um, well, I think you like pulled it up from like IMDb or something. Like it gave no information on like
Yeah,
the thing. So, I mean, I enjoyed like I liked it. I don't know, but most of it's in the map for me. So.
yeah. Um, the movies, I'd probably go with bad actually. I don't know. That's maybe it for the meh. I would also probably put character development in this one.
Mhm.
We work with a lot of characters, and a lot of them do a lot of nothing.
Yeah, we don't get a lot of like backstory on anybody except for like Ariel. Really,
Yeah,
obviously she's our main gal, but like,
I think Ariel and Moretti are the only two that kind of get some development, and that's why I
yeah,
put it in the mad because I do like the ending for her, and I do enjoy the ending of him sending out all of the levelists, and they're all just in the world now, trying to spread the word.
mhm,
So I thought that was cool. So there's a little bit of creates a little tension at the end, but
mhm,
ultimately, like everybody else in this movie was just there, and
yeah.
you didn't get much from them.
I'm gonna.
Um,
I think I might also add one more thing to
in
the
the
map.
writing, what's that?
I'm gonna add uh, pretty much the ending, but I liked how they closed out with Moretti and Ariel.
Yeah,
Like, I I loved maybe even good, I don't know, but I really liked the shot of him sitting playing his piano
mm-hmm.
with all of unfortunately all of the other
dead
bodies
yeah.
laying in front with the cops pull up. I don't know. It's so like he knew he was
Done for.
so he's not gonna like do anything crazy. But I also am gonna put in the like that end little snip when she goes
Yeah.
to see him, but like that was kind of dry. There was really no like.
Yeah.
I feel like she didn't get any closure or anything from him.
Yeah.
He was just babbling like he used to do when they were in the compound, because I think it was like 2 years later or something. But I'm glad she got what she. I mean, she said she wanted to write books, so she wrote books, and I'm glad she did that. But I'm kind of bummed that she didn't get any closure or what she needed from going to see him years later. He was still arrogant, so that's unfortunate.
Hop over to the bad?
Sure.
So we'll hop over to the bad, and the big bad for me is just this movie was weird.
So weird.
And sometimes I can do weird.
Yes.
Like Substance to me was a weird movie, and a lot of it I jived with, and the third act I didn't jive with. This one there was just a lot of weirdness where I was like, all right, let's move to the next scene.
Yeah, there's a lot of cringy stuff too. Like, I know that word is probably pretty overused
like
these
the
days.
dancing when they're in the tent and the girl starts having the allergic reaction.
There's so many things. There's just so many things that I found cringy. The biggest one to me was when they come and do the fashioning.
Okay.
And they're talking about like shaving
her down under
the under regions.
Yeah.
Like,
didn't really need to add it. Didn't
no,
add anything to the story.
I felt so like.
All it did was make you feel like how much more weird the levelists are.
Yeah, I felt so uncomfortable for her, and like, but Rachel, her lady that was doing her fashioning, she was like, it was just like something so normal, and I was like, it was kind of awkward.
Although Rachel did come in clutch for her, so.
She did, toward, the final act, but, I don't know,
No, it was definitely weird.
And the dancing again when they're going to the listening.
Yeah.
And they're all sitting on the stage and his dancing, and I mean, I don't know if it's just because like he's an older fella.
Yeah.
So that was kind of weird to see, like him dancing provocatively like that. Yeah. And I know that was probably how he was 30 years prior when he was in his prime. I just don't think it works for an older.
Another scene that I felt like
fella
would go in the bad. Or maybe even the mad, but I'm going to talk about it here now, is like when he comes into the dinner hall and he starts saying stuff and they go, ooh, ah. I actually really liked the quote from there. It was the one where they're like, the back row is asleep, but the front row is ready to rage. Mm-hmm. Ooh, and I liked that, but I just felt like it went on way too long.
There was several of those things. He was just babbling.
Yeah.
I felt when he first made his entry, and I think that was even like a different time they sat down. I was like, can these people just eat dinner without this big long spiel in the beginning? Like, I don't know. I felt Moretti was a very cringy character.
Yeah.
I don't know if it was because of
I didn't love the Moretti character, but I did like John Malkovich. That's the crazy part.
I did. He is so good, but I just think that like, I don't know, maybe it was his age and doing the things that he was doing just didn't like sit well with, I don't know. Yeah. I really was mega confused at some parts. Yeah. And some parts were just like didn't land in the weird. Yeah. I also like weird, but sometimes it's just.
I think there was just a lot of things underplayed. I think they could have dove more into the levelist stuff.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just this movie, if paced better, could have benefited from being longer for sure. Mm-hmm. But that's
also another thing. I did not realize that. I think they were shucking oysters to get the pearls out. Mm-hmm. I really thought every oyster had a pearl in it. Mm-hmm. I did not know that like it was such a rare occurrence. Mm-hmm. But I understand, and like, but he was really going hard with oyster shears, and that's why they all have the scars on their hands. Yeah. But I feel like why just like take your time and you wouldn't have,
Yeah.
Like you're not, the faster you go doesn't mean you're gonna find. I've kind of felt that imagery of him like scooping like the guts of the oyster out was kind of gross too. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah. I don't know. And something with like, I know there was some sort of symbolism there with like the pearls being like so rare and like all their necklaces adorned with pearls or whatever, but
yeah,
I don't know. And then the lady that did her TV interview had the pearl necklace on. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
So I did like how that ended. Kind of left you on a cliffhanger, but I don't know.
So I'll go over to our final thoughts and ratings. We're going to leave off with Opus, and what do you give it out of 10?
It's just not a movie for me.
Mm-hmm.
Other cult horror or cult thriller films I really enjoyed, but I feel at this point in time they're getting overplayed and overdone, and it's just like the same concept. I'm not gonna say story because they all have a different story.
Yeah.
The same concept over and over and over again, but like
you should just set yourself apart somehow.
You do, and I feel like this one might have if we took the cringiness or the strangeness down a couple of notches, maybe fix the pacing a little.
Yeah.
Because like it in reality, it had a great cast, and I feel like they would have done a stellar job if it wasn't just so overdone. So unfortunately, I'm gonna have to give Opus a pretty low score, and I'm gonna stick it in the 5 out of 10.
Okay. So I thought you were gonna go much lower than me because I'm actually at a 5 out of 10 as well.
Okay. My meaning, I feel like more now that I think about it, like it's like the technical things and like, really just like the story for me was kind of in the bad and the meh. So like the acting was good and the pacing was kind of but like, overall, like, would I probably sit down and watch it again? No. But I appreciate
I just think it's a forgettable movie.
I think so too. I'll be interested to see how it does in the next, because it just came out.
It didn't have a great opening weekend.
Yeah, I was gonna say I'm interested to see how it goes going forward in the theater.
Yeah, I agree with the 5 out of 10. It was just a pretty meh movie. Very, very busy movie week.
It was.
This is definitely at the bottom of the 4 that I checked out. But it's not the worst movie I've seen this year so far. So definitely go check it out for yourself. Give it a chance. I mean, Io Debris alone is just worth watching it.
And she's stunning,
if you're interested
by the way.
and you've seen her and other stuff, if you're a fan of The Bear, if you're a fan of of Bottoms or anything that she's done, go check it out for her. Go check it out for John Malkovich. But just be prepared. It's a very similar type story that we've seen before, and is starting to get in an oversaturated market.
For sure.
I thought the same thing with Blink Twice last year. Blink Twice at least set itself apart a little bit. It was a little more memorable. And then this came out. I was like, man, this is becoming a thing.
Yeah, and I feel like Blink Twice maybe even had some bigger names too. That might have been where it kind of set itself apart with, but.
That'll do it for Opus. Rosie, thank you for coming on.
Yes.
Thank you all for watching. If you like what you see, check out some other videos. Hit the subscribe button or follow the social links down below. Anything is appreciated. And we'll talk to y'all soon. Peace.
Peace and love.